Good morning. I was born and raised an Episcopalian, so it was easy for me. We stopped coming to church until Rick was old enough to go to Sunday school, and then we started coming again, and we haven't stopped since. We've been in several different churches because we moved around. But actually, in the beginning, I was baptized, confirmed, married, and had my kids baptized at the same church. And it's Christ Church in Reading, Connecticut. And we moved here in 1986, and because there wasn't a church in Cromwell, we started coming here at the invitation of Joy and Bill. And Joy was my maid of honor at my wedding, and we've been friends for a long time. Let me see. At that time, this church was considered a mission. And a few years after we joined, it became a full-fledged church. We don't have much family, just my immediate family and a brother that lives out in Oklahoma. So we consider our church family our family. And they've pulled through for us in a lot of ways and a lot of times when we've had our problems. And we're lucky enough that our daughter and son live close enough that they also attend here, which I'm very happy about.
Good morning. Nice to stand up here and see all these faces. Most of them smiling. Must be me. I don't know. But anyway, Beverly was born and bred Episcopalian. I guess I have to say I was born a rebel because my family was very poor. A lot of things were a little tough to do, and church just wasn't part of it. And so I might have gone a couple of Sundays here and there, but it was never a part of my life. And when I got married, as she said, we didn't go for a while, but then Rick came along, and she started going with Rick, and I started reading a book about the Saul, who became the Apostle Paul. And I just couldn't believe what I was reading, but it took to me, and I decided to go to church with her one day. And the church was called St. Paul's. So, 1, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I started going, probably a short time after that, right? Yeah, not too long. But I started going, and I've been going pretty much every Sunday since then. And I think I was 35. So, that's a long time. And I'll never forget, I've told this story to a lot of people, but I'm going to tell it to the group today. Beverly was bringing Rick to church and Sunday school. They came home one morning, and I hadn't started going yet. And Rick had a little friend. They were Catholic, so he went to the Catholic church every Sunday. And so he came over to Rick, and he said, "Where you been?" And Rick says, "I went to church." And, he says, "What church was that?" And Rick said, "God's." He was right. So I'll go on to something I said this morning. The last time I was standing up here on this, whatever it is, and talking to a crowd, I was in a situation where we really didn't know whether I was going to make it through the summer. I had a cancer that was very aggressive, and it was doing a real job on me. And I stood up here, and I was saying that, I still don't know much about heaven. But I do know one thing, that whatever happens to me, I'm going to be taken care of. And that day and that time and what was going on, and I got through, and I'm still here. And the group that I'm looking at this morning with different faces and so forth, it's the reason I'm still here. You guys. This church, from the moment we walked in 37 years ago, was number one, inviting. Number two, made up of just great people. People that were looking for families to come in, which we're looking for now. And we want to grow with families and so forth. Too many of us are getting old. But that has existed right from that first day all the way on. They didn't have any problem with asking if I wanted to serve on this committee, serve on that committee, and we don't want to lose that thing that we do, because we need volunteers, part of our stewardship. So things went on and on and on and on, and I'll get to, we moved a lot of different places. I think we've been to 5 or 6 different Episcopal churches now since I started going. And this is by far the best. And I think one of the biggest reasons that it is the best, and hopefully it's going to continue to be the best, is that we had, since I've been here, we've had 3 ministers. First one was a vicar, Stephen Fales, who was just a young man and a great young man, very much a people person, and the church grew while he was here. The second one was Father Bill, who most of you know. He spent 28 years with us as our rector. And, a lot of things happened while he was here. A lot of things changed, some good, some maybe not so good, but still. And then this guy comes along. And I told him a little while ago when I was saying something that we've been here 37 years. We expect him to be here 37 years. And he keeps reminding me that I said it. And so anyhow, all 3 of those gentlemen were perfect for this church at the time they came. And Patrick, already hard at work, trying to do a lot of things in here to help us grow and help us get closer to God, which is one of the reasons why we're here. The last thing is The church building is 60 some odd years old now. And there are some things that need to be done. I get into the part now where sometimes people just shut off. And I don't want you to shut off because I'm not asking for $1 million or anything like that. Although if you have that, we would surely enjoy having it. But when I started going to church, we would sit home and Beverly would take, I don't know, a little bit of money every Sunday and put it in and around this time of year, she came to me and said, well, what are we going to pledge? What's a pledge? What do you mean, pledge? Give to the church every week, you know. So we decided and we started doing it, and obviously didn't start off pledging all that much, but we did. And we kind of forgot about it. I gave her all of my money every week, and she gave me back a little bit to spend. And so she took care of the pledge every month. She'd give me a check, and I'd drop it off and as we went along, you know, it grew and grew and grew, and life got better, and it grew better. And I have to tell you two things. Number one, once we decided to do what we were doing, we never missed it. Because it just came out. It was just, she got the money, so much went here, so much went here, so much went here. We just forgot about it. And the other thing was the thing I have found out through my health more than anything else. When people start praying for you when you're not well, especially this group, you really feel it. I can't explain it, but I knew that there were people praying for me every day. And it just goes right in, and it really gets you. And that's another reason why you do what you're doing and you forget about it. The other thing is I found that through the years, when you start living your life and doing things like that, helping other people and blah, blah, being involved, and what you give comes back to you 1,000 times. It does. You may not realize it right off the bat, but it does. It comes back to you in so many different ways. And so I just urge everybody to give it a nice thought this year when you're sitting and thinking about, well, what do we want to do this year? What do we want to be involved in? And how many of these wonderful people do I want to meet?
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Bev.